Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today for our Women of Color Why Should I Get Certified webinar. And this is going to be a really great opportunity for you to learn about all the things that we do here at WBEC ORV as a part of WeBank. You'll also get a chance to hear from some of our certified WBEs as well, who will be able to share why they got certified and how it's benefiting their business. My name is Dr. Kitiana Lowe. I go by Dr. K, and I'm the Director of Programs and Events here at WBEC ORV. And just want to take a moment to introduce our team, so that way if you happen to see them, you know who you're talking to. So our interim president and CEO is Chuck Hendricks. Our Chief Operations Officer is Dr. Frederica Singletary. Our fractional CFO is Jackie Jordan, and our Senior Director of Marketing and Communications is Courtney Martin. As a WBE, you'll become very familiar with our certification team led by our Director of Certification and Outreach, Colleen Rudisell. We have our certification manager, Robbie Moore, and then we have a certification specialist that's working with the certification team as well. Her name is Anita Steele. And then our corporate engagement side, the manager there is Devin Davis, and then our administrative assistant is Morgan McDonald. And so we are a mighty and ever-growing team who work diligently to put together all things that you need here at WBEC ORV. And with that, I would like to go ahead and introduce Lamonda Dye, and she will go ahead and introduce herself as well as talk about the agenda for today.
Will do. So I am Lamonda Dye, owner and CEO of LCD Agency Services. I am also the proud chair of the Women of Color Committee, who is hosting this webinar. So I welcome you. Today's agenda is going to be pretty brief. We're going to talk about WeBank, WeBEC, ORV, and what it is to be a WBE. I know we throw that around quite a bit and, we're like, what is that? So we'll get into that. And then the eligibility to be a WBE and a WOSB, which we'll go over what that is in a little bit. The benefits of your certification. We'll also hear from our two presenters, Michelle Baker, I'm going to say it wrong, Cuthbert, and Sonia Patel. I hope I didn't butcher that, Michelle. I apologize
great.
In advance.
Great.
And then we'll talk about process and cost, tips, next steps, and then upcoming events.
Oops, there we go. So just talk a little bit about WeBank. So you'll hear us talk about WeBank, and we'll talk about WeBEC ORV. And so WeBEC ORV is one of the 14 RPOs or chapters, for lack of better terms, of WeBank. WeBank is our national organization. There are 14 RPOs or regional partner organizations within WeBank's network. We span across all of the United States. It's a national certification. So although you're being certified in Ohio, if you wanted to do business with someone that's in Georgia or Florida or California, you can still leverage your certification regardless of where you go. WeBank has over 20,000 certified WBEs or women business enterprises. And we have over 550 plus corporate members from a national perspective. And then so WeBEC ORV, which is your local RPO, we take care of Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia. And our mission is to lead through innovative, collaborative, and engaged groups of corporates, governments, WBEs, and advocates. And so we provide certification, business training and development, networking, and matchmaking. So for WeBank ORV, we actually have over 1,100 WBEs, and we have 80 or more corporate members. Amanda?
All right, so let's talk about what is a WBE. A WBE is a women's business enterprise, commonly referred to as a WBE, is a woman-owned business that is certified by WeBank. A WBE refers to the business, not the individual. Let me quickly go over what is a WOSB. I think we kind of acronym that is Wasabi a little bit.
Wolsby. I think I think I've
Wolsby.
heard Wolsby.
Wolsby.
Yeah.
Let's do Wolsby. And that stands
Wasabi.
for Woman Owned Small Business. And the unique thing about becoming certified with WeBank is that you can get both of these certifications at the same time. So there usually isn't any additional, well, I think there's one additional form that you'll need to complete to grab that certification as well, but nothing over the top. So let's go over certification eligibility. So you must be a for-profit business and at least be 51% owned and managed and controlled by a woman or women. Female owners are must be U.S. citizens and legal permanent residents. The owner must hold the highest office in that company, and the owner must also display evidence of legal and managerial control. I need to move. Hold on, Dr. K. This I can't. I'm sorry. This
You can't see
you
it.
you know my my challenges. See y'all on the other end. Y'all don't know my challenges. Let me tell you. Sometimes I am challenged with this technical stuff. So hold on. I can't move it. I want to get it out of the way. How do I do that?
I don't know. Are you on your iPad?
I am on my iPad and I can't get this little thing to
You
move. There it
can't
is.
get.
It's gone. Thank.
Oh, you got it?
Sorry, you
Okay.
guys. Owners also display evidence of contribution and capital and or expertise in the business. And then the business demonstrates independence and the ability to function on its own. So
And
there is
so,
no,
okay.
sorry.
No,
So
you
there
go
is
ahead.
no size, industry of length of time in the business that is required. So you could be 1 year into business and you can still get certified. You can be 10 years in business and still be able to be eligible for certification. So some of the certification benefits are you have access to supplier diversity and procurement executives, which is huge. And then there's also a link, WeBank Link 2.0. This is the area where you complete your application. If it's time for recertification, you'll do it all there in that link. It is very user friendly. I've used it a few times, and over the years, it has, of course, gotten a lot better. Formal and informal opportunities to pursue business. I love that part. Access to networking events and programs. I'm also a fan of these as well. I try to participate as much as possible. You're also eligible for regional and national awards and recognitions. The use of the women owned logo and women's business enterprise seal as a marketing tool. I personally look for these logos and seals on certain products that I purchase. And sometimes I purchase things because I see that logo on there as well. Community of support from other female business owners and like-minded professionals. I have said this so many times. Dr. K is probably like, I've heard this a million times from LaMonda, but I've never been a part of an organization where every woman that I have met want to do business with me. And if they can't, I walk away feeling like they would refer me, to someone if they knew that I could fit that person's needs. And I truly, truly mean that. It's a great feeling. And then lastly, we have an MOU with the state of Ohio, which basically means the state of Ohio recognizes our WBE certification. Did I leave anything out with that, Dr. K? I think I
The
missed
only
something.
other thing that I'll add is along with that WeBank link, I know LaMonda talked about that's where you'll actually put your, that's where you'll complete your application. But also with WeBank link, it is a portal where you can go in and you can look for WBEs. So you can
Mm,
look for businesses who are certified WBEs. So let's say you want to find someone who is in the marketing space. You need a new marketing manager. You can actually go into WeBank link and look for someone and let that be your starting point instead of kind of letting Google be your starting point. So that's another really great tool that WeBank Links provides.
And if I could just say something really quick, just to add value, I
Sure.
actually got a text from another WBE that I met at Nationals who lives not too far from me. I'm in Westchester, and she needs home care services for her mother. So talk about, the networking and how you just never know, when you're connecting with somebody, if they'll need your services or not. So being in this organization is definitely a bonus. So let's introduce our first presenter, Michelle Baker Cuthbert. And I am going to go ahead and turn it over to Michelle and allow her to give you her bio.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Michelle. I own Baker Creative. I've owned it for 20 years. It's a global transformational marketing firm. We work with clients all over the world, from China to the Netherlands to Germany to California to Chicago. And we really try to deep dive and help forge deep connections between corporates and businesses and the communities that they serve to drive real value. So my background has been 15 years of teaching at Columbus College of Art and Design, Capital University, and Columbus State, in addition to having my own business for 20 years. We're a Hispanic women-owned firm.
Thank you for that, Michelle. Could you possibly speak to us about how your certification has served you, or if you've leveraged any business because of your certification, and maybe speak a little bit about your experience being a certified WBE?
I think it's, being a certified WeBank does give you an advantage. And I think it's very interesting. In Europe and on the global stage, they don't really have diversity. So when I talk about how great WeBank is and what it does in the States, they're always like, how do we join? How do we do this? We want in. And I'm like, well, sorry guys, But what it does, it gives you all kinds of different opportunities to partner with other WeBank certified firms, which corporates absolutely love when you do that. And it also lifts all boats when you have the ability to partner with someone who's like-minded, like a lot of the folks in WeBank itself. Doing national versus doing something on a local, ORV has a quite different kind of flavor. But I think being able to participate in both areas, where national gives you the opportunity to go to events. And I've done the tuck training. I've done lots of different training with the national, but then on the same token, I got into, the energy training up in Toledo with the marathon folks, and that was through ORV. So, understanding, what are the areas that kind of make sense for your business and being strategic. It gives, people that other corporations that you work with, that it gives the impression and the message to local communities that they are supporting those communities by hiring someone who's female certified or diverse certified. We are MBE and, WeBank certified and, and you get certifications, and then you're like, so now what?
Yes.
And it's a lot of overwhelm, and some, make sense, and you're like, okay, I'm going to keep going with this. And some of them don't make sense. But, when you really try to make a business case, especially in today's environment, where diversity inclusion has changed a lot, and the face of that has been quite profound, I do find corporates are still committed to that. I just got a scholarship from Toyota, from the Hispanic National Chamber. Well, they're still, thank you, they're still, investing in that. They may not have the same conversation out in the public, but there are corporates still doing good work. So I think at first you was like, oh crap, what's going to happen? Because, that conversation shifted. But if they're committed to it, they're going to still do it.
Thank you for that, Michelle, shining some light on that. That is awesome. And congratulations. Love that for you.
Thank you.
I do. All righty. So our next presenter is Sonia Patel, founder of Pure Spices.
Mhm.
And I will also allow Sonia to go ahead and present her bio to us.
Wonderful. So I am the founder of Pure Spices. We're a globally inspired sauce and spice company. And then we also just recently launched a freeze-dried snack company that does freeze-dried, boldly spiced fruits and veggies. And
Mm.
so I've been doing this for about 6 years. Prior to that, I was a management consultant focused on marketing. And then I switched gears and became a teacher, and I taught second and third grade for a few years. And then I ran a nonprofit for 10, and then this is my next journey. So who knows what it'll be in 10 years after this, but here we are today. So we've been WeBank certified for the last 3 years. Um, and for us, I think there was a couple reasons why. So one, building community. And so a lot, like I'm not part of a big company. So it's just myself and a couple, like 1.5 employees. And so finding opportunities to connect with others that are like-minded and being part of networks, like that was really important to me. And so I've taken advantage of a lot of the education opportunities that are there. So like, especially if you're a CPG company, so like a consumer goods company, it's really nice because they have things with Target, they have things with, I sat in on a call with Kroger, and there's a lot of opportunities that I think, I know they all say that you can still join if you're not WeBank certified, but like you wouldn't even know about them if you weren't WeBank certified
Yeah.
unless you had friends that were, and then you would want to be. So to me, that was really important. From a consumer goods perspective, sort of what Michelle was saying, just in terms of industry, like grocery stores, retail chains, all of that, they love those things when they can say this is a woman-owned business. This is a local, but like, so we absolutely leverage those labels to our benefit. We have WeBank on our packaging as well. And so, that I think people, if they're looking, if they have a choice between product A and product B, and then they're like, oh, this is a woman-owned business. A lot of times people do choose that one, which is really nice. And, we absolutely welcome that. I'm trying to think what else. We're also, I think, yeah. So for me, those were like some of the biggest things was the network, and then knowing that I could leverage the different opportunities and the education opportunities that were there.
Awesome. Thank you so very, very much. I wrote down CPG, and then you said what that was, because I was definitely gonna ask, like, I don't know what CPG is,
No
but now
worries.
oh yes. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Dr. K, you're up.
I am, but I do see something in the chat. So,
Oh yeah, I see somebody. Yep.
oh, no worries. Welcome. Is it Zante?
Oh, I know Zante. Hey
Yes.
Zante, glad
Okay,
you
that
were
means
able to
Hello.
I'm
make
correct.
it.
Welcome. Oh, we got a
Thank
couple
you.
folks coming in right now.
Yeah.
It's the second service crew.
Right. Yes.
Welcome. All right. So, for those of you who are just joining us, this call is being recorded. And so I was getting ready to say next week, but next week is Catch the Wave. Probably if it's not tomorrow, which may be too tight of a turnaround for our admin, then it probably won't be next week. It will probably be the following week. You'll receive an email that has the recording as well as a link to this PDF. So you'll be able to review everything that we've talked about thus far. And even though you're on the call now, if there's anything that you have questions about or anything like that, you'll be able to come back to that recording to do that. So let me talk a little bit about the application process. So the application process takes about 3 to 4 months to complete. And that just really depends on the complexity of your business. It also depends on if you have everything together in the beginning and give the certification department everything that they need at the beginning. If they've got to do a bunch of back and forth asking for extra things and things like that, obviously it's going to take the process a lot longer. But once you're certified, your certification do a recertification every year. That process for your recertification is a lot shorter than the initial certification process. So with that certification process, they're obviously going to determine if you're eligible. Are you 100, are you, 100%, or excuse me, are you 51% female owned and operated or not, right? If you're not, you're not going to get certified. If you are, check. That's a good thing. So they're going to look at all of the documentation that you've compiled. There's also a link that I'll drop into the chat on our WeBank Nationals page. Unless Lamonda, you have that close to your hand. If not, I'll find it and drop it into the chat. But there's a kind of a checklist where you can see like this is all the stuff that I need to have. So I'll pull that. I think it's on our page. I'll pull that and drop that in the chat when Lamonda starts talking. But you'll complete your application online. Once they've completed that process and reviewed everything that you've submitted online, the next step is a site visit. So if you are a business, a lot of our site visits are done virtually now, even if you do have like a brick and mortar. But depending upon different things, or if our certification team has like any additional questions, or they're not quite sure about something that you may have submitted, or like I said, depending upon the type of business that you have, then you may have an in-person site visit. Either way, there will be a site visit, either in person or virtually. If you are, it's like it's just you and you're in your basement type deal, we're not coming to your house. So that would be a virtual site visit. And then once that site visit is complete, the team does a review, and then they make their determination about the fact that you're certified, and then you'll receive that notification via email to let you know that it's certified. So usually, once that site visit is complete, it's about 30 days give up to 30 days to be able to complete those final steps and for you to receive that notification. And then everybody always wants to know, how much does it cost to apply? So keep in mind that number one, the fee that you're paying for, it is your certification fee. It is non-refundable. This is not a membership fee. This is not an event ticket fee. It is truly a certification fee just for your certification. So the cost of your certification is going to depend upon the annual gross revenue of your business. So you can see them here. It can range from $350 if you're under $1 million to $1,250 if you're 50 million and plus. So you'll fall in that range based off of what you've reported on your federal taxes. And then next steps, Lamonda, is this you? If not, I can do it.
No,
I'll
it's
do it.
you. I have
It's still me. Okay, we're good. So next steps. So I would suggest we do have another webinar, Becoming a Certified WBE, which goes into super into depth about the step-by-step process through certification. The next one is coming up on September 4th. And so I would suggest that you attend that, especially if you have additional questions, if you aren't quite sure, that sort of thing. That will probably be your next step. But if you're all in, you're like, hey, sign me up, I'm ready to go. You can go to our WeBank website, and that's going to go over the process again. It's going to talk about your required documents and things like that. That way you can get all of your documents together before you begin the process of uploading everything. Double check your bylaws and make sure that all of your documentation supports that you do have female control in your business. You want to make sure that everything that you're submitting is as accurate as possible. And then just be flexible, when it comes to scheduling the site visits. The site visits are done by staff. They're also done by members of our certification committee, who are both WBEs like yourself, as well as they could be corporate members. So just remember, everybody's schedule sometimes gets crazy. And so if you can just provide some flexibility when they're trying to schedule that site visit, that makes it a little bit easier. And then I would say, even before this last one, go ahead and get involved. So we have a lot of opportunities for people who are not certified WBEs to attend our events. We do have some events that are just for our certified WBEs, but if it's something that you see and it's open to non-certified WBEs, go ahead and get involved now. Don't wait until you get your official approval to want to get involved. Other than that, right, go ahead and apply, get approved, and just go ahead and join this amazing network of WBEs and corporates.
And if I could jump in real quick,
Sure.
To your statement about, getting involved. that was kind of how I got started, by getting, involved, just to, figure out the flavors, see what was going on in the organization. Some of you I saw on here, I'm already connected to. So a lot of times I will send emails about events that are coming up that you don't necessarily have to be WBE certified for. So look out for those as well. If you want to, start to connect and again, get the flavor before you, start your certification process, that is a great way to do so.
Perfect. I agree. So before we finalize things and move on to a survey and upcoming events, I want to go ahead and open the floor. Does anybody have any questions at all? Let me stop sharing for a second. Lamonda, we are high five. We are on that.
I know.
We're on point. No questions.
I know questions. Well, if you guys don't mind, I would just like to do just like a quick recap, since some of the attendings were just a little late, and kind of summarize what our speakers or panelists spoke about with their certification. And I took away two things from their experiences with being certified. And one was having the seal or the logo on their packaging, or, on their website, or wherever else, you can put it, has definitely made them feel more confident. And they felt like, having that seal or logo has definitely put them in places, or allowed them to be in places that they wouldn't have ordinarily been able to, to be, or allowed them to receive, what's the word I'm looking for? I know Michelle said she received a grant because of, what was it,
A
Toyota,
scholarship.
Michelle?
A scholarship. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, because of that. And she would not have known about these things had she not been certified. And I think kind of the same thing with Sonia. She had a similar, situation. So those are the kind of the two things that I took away from those two ladies, how they've been able to benefit and leverage, their certification. So if that's something that you are looking for, then you're in the right place. The other thing that I say quite a bit, and this has come from a wise woman named Tina Macon. She is also WBE certified. Try not to focus on the return in investment, but the return on your involvement, because the more you get involved, the better your certification experience is going to be. I don't think I can put it any simpler than that. You definitely have to be involved. This is definitely an organization where you need to be involved, but once you get involved, you want to be involved. Any questions out there about certification or?
Yeah, I agree 100%. Go ahead, Lisa.
Yes, go ahead, Lisa.
You guys hit every single point. You were awesome, very informative. Just so the ladies who came in a little later, awesome.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited. I'm ready to join now.
Thank you.
It's gotta take between me and my accountant and everybody else who helps me get all this stuff together, which I should have. But I look forward to it. And I love seeing the diverse groups of women, the different businesses. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Sure.
How long do you have to be a women-owned business? So right now, I'm a partnership 50-50 and looking at changing that next year. How long do you have to be? Is it a year or two? I can't remember.
There is no length of time. You
Mhm.
can be brand new and be certified, but I think you do have to wait until you're 51% owner.
Okay. So if I change that for next tax year, if we change that for next tax year, then we can apply that year.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, is that right, Dr. K? I don't want to say anything that isn't true.
No, that is correct. So you do have to be
Okay.
51%. But there is not a period of time of like how long, but you'll just want to make sure that all of your documents support that you're 51% and you're not going to be wavering back and forth type of a thing. I'm trying to pull up the I talked about a link that I was
Oh,
going to
yeah.
drop into the chat, and I'm trying to put my hands on it. We are in the process
That's
of updating our
very
website.
helpful link too.
Maybe let me check WeBank. But no, very good question. And Lamonda, everything that you said is spot on point. While yes, I do work for the organization, but it's definitely an organization that where everything is definitely near and dear to my heart. It's a really great group of ladies that you're coming alongside and getting to know. And there's a PDF in this link that has all of the information about the documents that you need. And so I would encourage you to take that, print that thing off, and literally like check, check,
Mhm.
check, 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 and make sure that you have all of your stuff. So that way, when you sit down at the computer to upload everything, you know that you're not forgetting anything, and that will make your process a little bit easier as you're uploading all of your documentation. Um, but we've got a really dynamic group of women who also, if you have questions, if you're, feeling overwhelmed or whatever the case may be, they're more than willing to kind of lean themselves and provide that support that's needed. If you have questions, definitely reach out to our certification team. If you aren't quite sure, I know this is what it's asking, is this the right thing, that sort of thing. The certification team, I would say start with Robbie Moore is probably going to be like your best friend. And so, they can definitely assist you with answering any questions that you may have, especially if, to that question, talking about, hey, we're currently set up this way, but I'm planning on changing it to this way. And, just to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row beforehand. But it's a really great team. That certification team is really going to help you out a lot.
Can I say something? Also,
Yeah.
I did my certification on my own, and like in the sense, like I submitted all my information on my own, and the portal looks a little overwhelming, but it is literally just a checklist. So if you just like don't get overwhelmed by the number of steps that are there, if you do it by yourself and you just kind of look like laser focus on one thing at a time, it actually isn't as bad as one might seem. If you just open it up and you're like, holy crap, there's a lot I have to get together, it's actually not bad. But just basically don't let it overwhelm you. So
Understood.
Yes.
Thank you for that,
I
Anya. That's true.
agree.
It is basically a checklist. It
Yeah.
is. But yeah, at first glance, it is that way. So thank you for clarifying that.
mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm also here to help, if you guys are starting to go through the process and, have questions, please email me as well. If it's something I don't know, I would definitely refer you over to certification team. But as you're gathering things and you have questions, you can reach out to me as well. One other thing I wanted to add, if you guys don't mind. So as the chair of the Women of Color Committee, I've been devoted to diversifying, the group, the committee, adding more women of color to be certified because believe it or not, there's only 100 and trying to remember off the top of my head, 160-ish women of color who are certified. And I know that we can do better with that number, right? I know that we can, boost that number up. And diversifying in a whole, it wasn't just about ethnicity for me when I became chair, but also the businesses. So when I came in, there were a lot of consulting businesses, you know um, accounting, things like that. And I started thinking, I'm like, where are my food ladies? Where's my hospitality ladies? Where are my beauty industry ladies? Things like other home care, ladies like myself. So I'm always championing, for those women business owners as well to become certified because like with anything else, we're stronger together, right? And the more we diversify, the better it'll be for us. So just want to encourage you guys on that end to become certified. because I know that there are more than 160 woman-owned businesses out there. So we want that to be reflected in WeBank.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. Any other questions before we kind of begin to wrap up? And Alex, welcome. I saw that you just joined, so welcome. I do want to let you know this call was recorded, and so you will be receiving an email, probably not next week because next week is our conference, but probably it'll be the following week. Everyone will receive an email that has a link to the recording as well as a link to the PowerPoint presentation that was shared today. All right, let me share my screen again really quickly. If there aren't any other questions, if you are not watching this from your phone and have the ability to pull out your phone and scan this QR code and just fill out our brief survey, which will help us as we're making tweaks and changes to make this webinar even better as we move forward in the future. If you happen to be watching this from your phone or are not in the position to be able to do that, don't worry, because when when that email comes out that I was just talking about, it will have a link to this survey there as well. And so you can fill it out at that time. So either way, though, I would love for you to fill out the survey. And then we've talked about getting involved and showing up and coming out. And so I would be remiss, especially as the director of programs and events, if I did not talk about our upcoming events. And so Lamonda and I are going to kind of tag team on some of these. I will start with Catch the Wave, which is our annual conference, which is next week. It is next week. We are in Cleveland this year.
Yes.
Lamonda, I know you are already registered. Sonia, I think I've seen your name on there as well. Michelle, I saw your name on there too, if I remember correctly. So our registration is closed, but if you have a burning desire to come to the conference, shoot me an email after we finish here. I'm going to drop my email address in the chat and let me know, and we can definitely get you added. Let me put this .org. Wait. weback.org.org. There we go. Shoot me an email and we can definitely work together to get you registered, get the invoice out to you and things like that. But I would love to see you all at Catch the Wave next month, next week. There we go.
Yes.
And come next year too. But I'd love to see you at this one next week.
I also want to add, it is, coming up, but me and 2 other WBEs are driving up and we have room. We have a driver. So if you guys, again, just have a burning desire, I have room with our driver. So let me know. I'd be happy to.
Definitely don't miss out on the folks. They got a whole driver. Listen, you're right here on my screen. She got a whole driver driving her from Cincinnati to Cleveland. So if you want to be like Lamonda.
This was a joint effort, Dr. K.
I got to give you grief. Right. But get in that car is what I'm saying. Get in the car. I already talked about becoming a certified WBE, which is the next webinar. If you have additional questions, if you want a deeper dive, they go through a lot of information about that whole process. Some of the slides you'll see just like the ones that we already went over, but they go really, really in depth. That's led by our certification team. So that's September 4th. If you scan this QR code, it's going to take you to our events calendar. And then all you have to do is just navigate to the event that you want, click it, and then click register, and it will take you to the page to be able to register for it. And then the doing business with sessions that are on there for September 10th and September 24th. Those are 2 of the sessions that I talked about that are only for our certified WBEs. So you all would not be able to attend those next month, but that's something to keep on your radar once you get certified for when those come around again. And so that's just an opportunity that we provide our corporate partners to come and share with our WBEs. So oftentimes they'll share about the business. They'll talk about maybe portals that they may have that you may have to navigate in order to be able to do business with them. They'll talk about like what types of WBEs or industries that they're looking for. Some of them may share benefits that they have for our WBEs, like the insurance companies or the banks and different things like that. So those are really great opportunities. They're usually small groups. And so I always encourage our WBEs to attend those, even if they don't even think that business is on their radar, because when else would you have a chance to sit down with a corporate in a small group of, let's say, 5 to 20 And we always do introductions. And as Lamonda mentioned, you never know who may need your services, that they don't even realize that they need your services. So definitely a really great opportunity for our certified WBEs. And then I'm going to talk about the capability, and then Lamonda, I'll let you talk about the WB Connect.
Yes, ma'am.
September 23rd is developing an effective capability statement. If you do not have a capability statement, if you do not know what a capability statement is, if you know that your capability statement needs some help, that is a webinar that you want to attend. It's a free webinar. The capability statement is something that we oftentimes ask for anytime we have opportunities for our WBEs. And it's also sometimes what our corporates will ask for. It's kind of like your business resume, right? And so you want to make sure that that's put together very well. And so this is a webinar that is open for both certified and non-certified WBEs to come and learn about how to put together that capability statement.
Awesome. I benefited from this session maybe about a year ago, and I think it was you, Dr. K, that sent it to me. I remember
Probably.
emailing you and saying, "Oh, I don't have a capability statement." Somebody, I can't even remember who asked me for it, but I didn't have one. You know, I've been in business 15 years, but I definitely benefited from that training or that webinar, and I now have a capability statement. Thank you very much. And I have recently revised it. Thanks. So
Yay.
if you guys don't have one, you should take advantage of that. Or even if, if you don't know if you'll need it in the future or not, because I didn't think about it. So September 10th, the WBE Connect is in Columbus. So the WBE Connects is something that was started, I believe it was a year or so ago. And there are little mini connects, which are like networking events in the different cities in our RPO, and they're hosted by different WBEs, either at their business or at a specified location. Typically, they're around. Well, I went to one that was at lunchtime, but I think most of them are in the evening, and they usually provide you, with some type of, appetizer, fun environment, maybe some information about their company. And then there's always the opportunity to connect with other WBEs in that area. I've always found value with going to these connects. Last year, I enjoyed them so much. I went to all of them except for one. But this year, I wasn't able to be as agile as I was the year before with attending. But I do plan on attending the one in Columbus on the 10th. And I believe that I went to one in Cincinnati. So this is an event or a networking event that you don't have to be certified for. So those of you who are connected to me, you should see this in my email coming up pretty soon. If not, reach out to me, if you want to attend. But yeah, a great time for networking. And if you're thinking to yourself like, oh, why would I attend a Connect in Columbus? Well, I always tell people to think outside the box. So I'll use me again as an example. We recently opened a new office in Columbus. Had I not had connections or was WBE certified and no other WBEs in Columbus, it would have been a lot harder for me to make that transition without knowing anyone, in that area. Or if you're just thinking about, not necessarily expanding your business, but taking your business on the road, so to speak, to provide some services. Again, great place to network for that, or if they're in your area and you have services, vice versa. So again, always think outside the box, with your certification. I believe that's it.
That
Oh my gosh.
is.
Yeah.
That is. Any final questions that happen to pop into your mind before we leave? If you happen to think of anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to Lamonda or to myself. Lamonda, do you want to drop your email address in the chat just in case there might be someone who is not already connected to you?
I'm challenged in this way. Hold on. Let me see.
Oh, never mind.
Find
Never
the
mind.
chat.
Never mind.
I got it.
I
got
Let
it.
me find your email address.
I got it. I'm doing it.
Good job.
Thank you, Dr.
Good
K.
job.
Appreciate it. Look, now I can't see the letters on
Now
my
you can't
iPad.
see the buttons.
Yes. because it's purple, because I like everything purple. It's crazy.
Yes, my
I'm
favorite
doing
color,
it.
best color in the whole world.
That's right. I did
Um,
it. Here it is.
Good job. Yes, you did. Thank you, ma'am.
You guys
So
will be
if you
proud
have
of
any questions, please reach out to Lamonda, reach out to myself, and let us know, and we'll do whatever we can, get you connected to the right people to answer the questions if it's not ourselves. As I mentioned, this recording will probably come give us some grace because we've got the conference next week, so it probably will be the following week. But if you're ready to jump in and get certified, you don't have to wait for this recording to come out. Go
Mhm.
ahead and, like I said, use that link that I put into the chat with all that documentation and start getting all of your documents together, and just jump in with both feet. Both feet, not feet, both feet, I would say. So thank you to Sonia and Michelle for your time and for your
Yes, thank
commitment,
you.
for being a member of WeBEC ORV, and
Thank
for
you.
sharing with our women of color that joined us today. And with that, have a great day, everyone.
Yeah.
And I'll see you next time. I'm struggling today,
Yeah,
y'all.
that's okay.
No
Bye, you
worries.
guys.